It's really no secret that as humans, we like a good fight. Really can't deny it. For thousands of years, we've been pitting each other physically and violently against each other. It really shouldn't come as a surprise that now that YouTube is a mainstream media platform that they want to fight, literally, in the ring. I'm just not sure if this is genuinely a good idea. What does it really mean for both YouTube and boxing? You know, is it really good that Logan Paul got in the ring with Floyd Mayweather? So today we're gonna talk about two boxing matches that have happened very recently that I don't know if should happen. I'm John, and this is the very first episode of The Storyboard. Now, I want to make something clear with this being the first episode. This show is not about boxing whatsoever. I honestly don't know much about boxing. I do know a thing or two about YouTube. It should come as no surprise that just like everyone else on the internet, I have an opinion. And that's really all this show is for me to share my opinion on certain aspects within the creator community, whether that be on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. If you produce content by yourself, you are a creator. Congratulations. You are now subject to being judged by all of us. In the last 8 days of this recording, there have been two major boxing matches involving YouTubers. First one we're going to talk about is Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. And then more recently, Austin McBroom and Bryce Hall in the YouTuber versus TikTok boxing match. You can kind of see a large difference in those two matchups. This is kind of where I think we draw the line with YouTubers and fighting in any capacity. Now, if a boxer is a YouTuber, it's a completely different story. If Manny Pacquiao was out here making vlogs, we wouldn't be necessarily having this discussion the way I'm about to present it. But since it's Logan Paul, who is a YouTuber and then a boxer, I will say to Logan's credit, he is a fighter. He wrestled in high school. Now, if you're on YouTube and you know anything that's gone on in the last 5 years, I'm sure you know that Logan Paul is he's a colorful character. I don't want to call him problematic, that's rude. He gets people's attention, but he isn't a professional boxer, at least he wasn't. This obviously wasn't Logan Paul's first boxing match. He fought KSI, and I mean, to their credit, it was an interesting boxing match. Logan Paul ended up losing to KSI by split decision, but it was interesting nonetheless. When it comes to his most recent matchup against Floyd Mayweather, it's a bit of a different story. That's quite the jump from KSI to, you know, the champ, the number one. Bit of a difference, you know, just saying. My biggest issue with it is the attitude taken after the fight was, it kind of seemed like both fighters knew that the reason they were doing it was for money. 1 million pay-per-views were ordered at $50 a piece. It's pretty easy math. If you're a math boy like me, that's $50 million. That's a lot of money for a fight that we all kind of expected, you know, what the results were gonna be. Nothing was a surprise. It was exactly what we assumed it would be. Now, this might be an issue with boxing as a whole, but at the same time, when you involve YouTubers, it obviously gets a little bit worse, naturally. The other fight that I think is interesting, and I actually have a completely different opinion on, is the one between Austin McBroom and Bryce Hall. They fought around the same time as Nate Diaz and Leon Edwards, two professional fighters. And truth be told, it was a much more interesting fight. These guys aren't professional boxers. They had professional training, but it's not what they do. And there was plenty of smack talk all over social media. Now, Austin McBroom and Bryce Hall are two very colorful characters. Bryce Hall is a rather problematic TikToker. He dated Addison Rae. Austin McBroom, the father of the Ace family on YouTube, one of the most popular family channels on YouTube as of recording this video. So why were they fighting? Honestly, I don't even know. They're just talking shit and like, yo, let's fight. Now, it really kind of just spawned because Austin wanted to fight Jake Paul. Jake Paul declined him. It's fair. Not everybody wants to fight everybody. Some of us just want to fight some people. I don't want to fight anybody. I'd get my ass kicked. But Austin, once Jake Paul decided to say no, he's like, all right, let me target another very popular influencer at the time, Bryce Hall. It was really it. He just wanted somebody to fight. And Bryce has had a history of fighting people. So Austin was like, let's do a tussle. You know what I mean? In the ring, in public, instead of, just beating random people up on the street. And then after a lot of debating, around March of this year, they reached terms and, well, the fight was put in place. In the Mayweather versus Paul fight, expectedly, we all knew that Floyd Mayweather was probably gonna win. Now, I will say, to Logan Paul's credit, he did go the distance with Floyd Mayweather. And it was an exhibition match. By rule, there is no winner or loser, so why would Floyd Mayweather ever think about risking his perfect record for Logan Paul? You can't say that Logan Paul lost. He made a ton of money, and he can say he went the distance against Floyd Mayweather. Honestly, I can't dog that. I wouldn't say he lost. Definitely would not say he won either. Now, the fight between Austin and Bryce had a little bit different of an outcome. Austin won, actually won by TKO. He finished Bryce Hall in the ring. And it was really entertaining to watch the ref get that mad at Bryce Hall.
Big straight left hand.
Now, with all of this information and me talking about it, it's kind of hard to argue whether or not boxing is good for YouTube. Does it make good YouTube content? Absolutely. It's not even up for debate. Millions of people watch these guys fight. I've seen clips. I watched Bryce Hall get a nosebleed. I genuinely did not care I didn't know the fight was happening. I was just like, oh, why are they fighting? It's like sitting at a bar and two guys just start fighting. What are you doing? It's unnecessary. It's still equally funny. So I don't know if I could ever argue otherwise that boxing is good for YouTube. We love a good fight. The more important point, and one that can't be regulated, is YouTube good for boxing? When I originally thought about making this video, it was right after the Paul versus Mayweather fight and right before the YouTuber versus TikTokers. My position on this part of the video was pretty set in stone that YouTube wasn't good for boxing. Kind of disagree with that statement. I actually think it is good for boxing. Not so much in the sense that what you probably think. There's no denying that the YouTuber v TikToker fight was, well, interesting. It was super fun to watch. It was actually a lot more fun to watch than the Logan Paul versus Mayweather fight. There were two guys in the ring actually looking not just to win, but kick the other guy's ass. And that made better boxing, at least for the uninitiated normies like me, which is why so many people watched it. I have no option other than to say that boxing and YouTube are good together. That being said, I'm one guy with an opinion and you're probably another guy with another opinion. You might agree with me, you might not, but you have the opportunity to share. Is boxing good for YouTube as a whole? Leave what you think down in the comments below. Leave a like, it really helps us out. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date on my stupid opinions. As of the time of recording this, the kind of plan is for Mondays to be the storyboard, Wednesdays are Gamer Gab, where I talk about YouTube gaming specifically. Friday, I want to talk about specific influencers. It's a show called Who Are They Really? Then if you like some other content, a good friend of mine, Michael, and I have a podcast called The Work in Progress Podcast. It'll be on here every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.